So, all right,
There,
you ready?
we roll?
Yeah. I was going to say, you ready to roll some dice, man?
Finally, I was hoping I hit the filler mark.
All right, so here we are, random encounters. This is a section where we pull up a list of topics and we roll d20s to see what we're going to talk about.
Give them the list, bro.
Let me pull up the list.
We even updated it. We changed like 2 whole items.
Oops. There we go. There's the list. All right, yeah, we changed some stuff, but there is the list. Check it out. My head's in front of the pick one. There we go. And let's get to the webcam. Yeah, well, now your head's in the way, so.
I hear that a lot too, yeah. You gonna roll, dog, because I just talked for like 15 minutes straight. My recharge over here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nat 20.
Man, it's like you're the opposite of my ones.
So this is where we get to pick the subject. I want to talk. Actually, you got me interested in modding, and I want to talk about some modding now.
Number 10, modding in video games.
Number 10, modding in video games. Modding is honestly, it's probably one of the best parts of Bethesda games. Like Bethesda allowed so much modding. You see it happen in some of the newer games. The Kingdom Deliverance has gotten some mods going, but most of those are just to make it either to simplify things, which I'm not a fan of that type of mod, or to make more nudity. So
can I send a request out real quick? Modding community. First of all, shouts out to your efforts. I can't believe that there are fully voiced mods. I don't think you get enough props for that. There's a game, I think it's called like a Landrin. There's a mod for Skyrim that's fully voiced. That's crazy. Guys, I promise you I will pop your name up here and I will reference you 3-4 videos straight. If you can get me a fantasy mod for Kingdom Deliverance, I will buy that game the same day.
Fantasy mod? What do you mean?
I'm a Skyrim dude. I love fantasy. You know, the only reason I'm not playing Kingdom Deliverance is because I prefer fantasy in my medieval games. If somebody throws a fantasy mod that adds in elves and orcs and magic, you will sell a copy of that game, and I will tell them you sold it.
You're changing the entire game, though, at that
point.
But
people could do it. No, I'm not saying that they need to do it. I'm just pointing out that that's how good the mods are.
I'm saying if that's the point, just play Skyrim, dude.
Nah, man, the combat in Kingdom Deliverance, I'm sorry, but I hate to hate on Skyrim for the first time probably in my life, but you told me and showed me some of the melee.
Oh, yeah.
That melee combat is amazing.
Yeah, the melee combat is amazing. I do hate that that things have gotten simplified on some of the mods, but I mean, hey, if that's what you want to do, my only annoyance with mods that simplify games is you have this whole bragging community. And you never know, like when somebody tries to convince you they've done this achievement through this difficult path, but then you find out that they're modding to make the game simpler. That type of stuff annoys me.
I feel you because you know me. I'm the dude who played Dark Souls as a low agility build just because everybody said you couldn't do it. So I went heaviest armor, biggest, slowest, clunky bastard just because I was like, screw you, you just suck. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't believe anything's... I mean, in games, you know what? I would actually say Dark Souls suck if you couldn't play without an agility build. And you know what? You can. And that's why I had to give the game that. I don't like some of the way the game played, but there is really not a completely invalid build. And that's how a game manages to pass my test. Because guess what? Again, we talked about it. I might want to play Baylor. Baylor is big, slow, wields a big weapon, and he's stupid. I know he's my big thug.
So anyway, we're talking about modding now.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I know you've been playing Skyrim again. You've picked up on quite a few mods recently. I mean, but in general, like, how do you feel of the modding community in general? I mean,
I believe you should play a game the first time without mods. This is because you can't really even understand what's changed. But I will say this: I thought I was sick of Skyrim.
Yeah, well, I gotta say the alternate start mods for Skyrim really do freshen the game up.
Oh yeah, shout out! I don't know the modder. But,
Same thing with they have an alternate start mod for Fallout, which we've actually done a review on it on our
I gotta try that
on our YouTube channel. But the alternate start mods are brilliant. They do some editing to some of the voices, I think, sometimes. And
the vampire alternate start for Skyrim, I gotta send a shout out, is fully voiced. Alternate start, I don't know the name of the mod. I'm sorry because I was caught off guard, but you can see it on Nexus. It's amazing. I started as a necromancer. Now, we've heard me say that word a lot tonight, so I don't have to tell you how big a deal it is that I got to start as a necromancer.
Yeah.
So I believe that Bethesda is brilliant, though I don't like their Steam Workshop thing because it screwed with a few of my mods. But Bethesda is brilliant that they don't hate on their modders.
I don't usually use Nexus. I usually just grab mine off the Steam Workshop. Now the Creation Club sort of annoyed me with the paid mods. Like paid mods are
Fallout,
the
and that was a bad idea.
Well, it's also I think Skyrim Special Edition has some Creation Club.
Well, here's what I'm
mods.
gonna say to that, real quick. 'Cause I know you're trying to get your word in. I'm just gonna say, here's a big thing that Bethesda, I think you need to remember about the mods. Some of those mods are based around your DLC, and I'm not lying. It will sell your DLC for a good mod. Don't charge for just mods. Let the mods be free.
Well, no, yeah. Usually the latest mod actually requires the latest patches and DLC. But no, I mean, my thing is if you like a mod, if you enjoy a mod, most modders have some type of website where you can donate, PayPal, Patreon, stuff like that.
Dang, I'm gonna have to go hit up Alt Life and Psychotic then.
So I suggest hit them up on Patreon, hit them up on a PayPal donation or something. If you like them out, if it's adding to your gameplay, come on now, it's worth the money.
And the last shout out, and I say this out of love, just like I tease Disney, Bethesda. There's a thing called loyalty. It's an ephemeral quality, but it's worth a lot of money. Let me tell you what your previous practices on allowing people to mod your products did for me. I will buy a Bethesda RPG game like the next Elder Scrolls without question.
Oh yeah, no, I have pre-ordered every Bethesda
I own
RPG
all
game.
your DLC. I own all of it. And you know what? Even your glitches, I didn't care. That's loyalty. Don't get blinded by that quick fix when your loyalty you have from me, especially prior to the Fallout, because honestly, I'm way more loyal to the Elder Scrolls brand than Fallout because they didn't do that.
Just quit making VR and just give me my next game.
Because honestly, I'm close to going in. What we talking about? Elder Scrolls Online. We've been talking about going back and buying all your DLC, the new stuff you added on there. So it's like loyalty is worth money.
Yeah, roll die, man.
Booyah!
You rolled a 1 last time.
Sadly, I think for the first time ever, I don't have anything, man. I actually don't.
You don't have anything?
I've said everything horrible I could think of already. I tagged Disney. Criticized most of my favorite beloved companies. I don't know where to go here. I defended female gamers, which is horrible.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding, man. Honestly, I hate gender locks, but
Well, did you watch any of the Facebook Congress stuff?
Facebook Congress? What's this?
No. Where the Congress and the Senate got Mark Zuckerberg to be a witness
Against what?
Against Facebook and the internet. It was really, really horrible. I was hoping you had seen some of it because that would have been horrible.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg was a bitch. There you go. There's your horrible. Actually, here we go. I got a real thing. We're talking about video games. It's a video game heavy day, so screw it. It's video game day. Let's talk about. We're not going to get political, but let's talk about the resurgence of hate on video games. Because people, have you recently seen that Fortnite has been accused of making people violent?
Well, yeah, okay. So this all came up with the
By the way,
recent.
shouts out to the game theorists because they did a video on that.
This recently came up with because of some of the recent shootings and problems that we have with violence in the
The
U.S.
Fortnite hasn't been connected directly with the shootings, but they are saying that like it has. They're basically going like it's psychologically Fortnite gamers are supposedly. It's been considered addictive. The game's like got up to elder. What was it?
Well, it's because it went mobile. They did Fortnite on mobile, and I'll be honest, mobile gamers tend to lean more towards that addictive gaming personality, I think.
EverQuest. EverQuest. Remember back EverQuest went through this?
But I mean, it's also because Fortnite has it hits two different genres. It hits the shooting genre as well as the creation genre.
I do admit that I've seen some incredibly inventive ideas. So, of course, the non-gaming community, especially the old fogies, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm 39 freaking years old, but, compared to these guys, it isn't about physical age, it's about mentality. Really, seriously, it is. They go with, I don't understand video games, so video games are making people crazy. Here's the thing, guys. An addictive personality is an addictive personality.
All right.
Period. It isn't about whether it's a video game. If you have the ability to get over obsessed about something, then you have the ability to get over obsessed about something. Don't blame the video game. Blame the person that has that trait.
Let me give you the mentality of the people that are looking at video games and these laws and stuff about video games and violence. And I'm going to reference. I brought up the Mark Zuckerberg thing earlier. So one of the first questions was, so Facebook doesn't charge their users a fee, and Mark's like, no, and he looks at him, he's like, well, how do you make money? And
advertisement.
Yeah, and that's what Mark said. It was ads. And the guy's just like, oh, okay. So they know nothing, man. They have no clue, and they're not doing any real investigation on this stuff. They're not looking into it themselves or anything like that. So I mean, the fact that you have these people that are so out of the loop trying to look at technology and games and internet and all this stuff, you have an issue there that's your problem, is we have people that are not educated or have any experience with these things.
And don't want to know. Check it out. I'm going to send two things out. First of all, I need to apologize a bit to Mr. Zuckerberg. I'm not calling you a bitch because you're just bad. It's just that I wish you had taken a stronger stance.
Well, no, I do definitely
because, I mean, these people are being stupid.
But
I'm sorry. I can't look at somebody being stupid and not say you're being stupid.
I will not say that he is that at all. The man showed up. He knew he was going to get roasted. Mm-hmm. He sat there. He looked at them like they were stupid. He told them a couple of times that they were, All
right.
So, I mean,
you know what? You're going to hear something new. Q will take it back. I wish you to take a stronger stance, Mark, but at least you showed up and defended us.
He sat there, and you could tell he wanted to say some things, but legally, and for image, he is a CEO. He did have to watch some of the stuff he said.
Yeah, my bad, Mark.
One of the other things that came up in that was one of the Congress people had looked at him and was like, well, I was so what really needs to stop here is y'all need to stop listening to what I'm talking about. See, I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were talking about a certain type of suit. And then I got on Facebook later, and there was an ad for that type of suit. So I don't know how you are collecting my thoughts and what I say, but you need to stop. And of course, Mark's just like, yeah, we don't do that, man. Well, somebody is collecting. They're listening to. There's these things like Alexa and Google that they're listening to everything you say. Like, I mean, I was waiting for him to pull his tinfoil hat and stick it on his head. Because he's like, and then you're sending me ads. You're sending me ads and listening to everything I say. And then he's like, do you let cell phones in your boardrooms, huh? Do you? And Mark's is like, I don't think we have a rule about not having a cell phone in our boardroom.
See, and that's why
they're listening to you, you're listening to yourself.
And see, and that's why I have to go, well, did you go onto a public media with your Facebook not set to private and then mention the name of this company publicly to everybody?
Well, no, that's the thing.
Maybe that's how they heard. They
like,
can literally just look at your friggin' Facebook and see that you mentioned their
name.
name.
Mark was like, you probably did a search for that suit you like, or you bought one, and that's where we get the information from. We're not listening to you.
Trust me, we're not. I don't even know any of this stuff he's talking about because I didn't listen. Here's the thing. Did you, again, I know I send a lot of shout outs, but I do this so that people understand, and I do get my info off of watching other YouTubers. And I just don't believe in the folks to act like they thought of it themselves. Jim Sterling did a whole video on the whole violence thing and stuff where he went and showed where they talk to these guys, and these guys are like, well, I've never touched a video game or have ever heard of Grand Theft Auto or this game. And it's like, you haven't heard of it? So who are you getting your information from? Oh, well, this one news channel that, has this very strong political agenda tells me everything I need to know. And it's like, wow, that's a bad idea. Maybe perhaps you should actually, because he did that's what it was. He did a video on, I think it was Canada. It was somewhere where they did a whole thing about Grand Theft Auto and this other game, and all the video footage was fake. I'm not joking. He proved it. Like, they went and grabbed faked video footage of the game to present the game in a different light. And they just did that. And it's like, you need to understand it. You can't assume that somebody telling you something or even a video they're showing you is accurate if you don't go look it up.
Don't take our word for what we say, man.
Go look it up.
Go make your own opinion. Go look up. Like, I had saw a bunch of different links for the Mark Zuckerberg thing, and each one of them was stupid questions from one political side or the other, but trying to make that political side out to be the one asking stupid questions. I went and watched a 3-hour live, stream, and it was like everybody. It didn't matter. It's like all these people are morons. There was like out of the 50, 60, 70 people that asked him questions, maybe 2 seemed like they even knew what the internet was.
A lot of them have actually stated, you go look, you'll see them stating, I've never touched the internet.
Yeah.
And you don't need to make policies about something.
Well, I'm not saying they don't use the internet or they don't use Facebook,
but
they have no technical knowledge.
There's a couple of people in Congress and stuff who don't use the internet.
But let's go ahead and see what else we got on this list. So I think we've hit that horse enough.
I thought that got horrible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Google, roll me a D20.
Rolling a die with 20 faces. The result is 9.
9 is the cost of gaming. So, sticking on the gaming bandwagon here.
Let me lean back, get comfortable here. Oh, boy.
We're going to talk about the cost of gaming. Now, this is something, especially us trying to be in media and do some stuff with gaming and so forth, whether it be tabletop or video games. We'll talk mostly about video gaming at this point. Being that's what we've mostly been on.
Okay.
But the video games is definitely a costly habit. This is one of the things, sort of going back to our previous subject of these games being bad for children and so forth. Most children don't have $70 to spend on the video games. These are parents usually that buy these games for them anyway. So if your kid is playing Grand Theft Auto, that's sort of it has a mature rating. It says it does.
Make sure your child has the mental stability to play this game.
Yeah. But anyway, gaming's not cheap, and especially as we go into VR and stuff like that, where a rig could cost you an additional few $100s on top of your computer or console.
Well, let's be honest. Let's give an example. A AAA game, on average nowadays, will cost you about $100 to get all of it. That's because once the DLC and everything pops out, or if you buy the game, the whatever it's called, the membership to get the new crap, you're gonna probably spend $100. And honestly, that's why I like people like Bethesda, because at least I'm gonna get my money's worth. I've bought friggin' memberships, and the DLC's been crap.
Yeah.
But that's what it's gonna cost. For example, I love Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and I recently spent another $10 to get 2 extra characters. And knowing me, I told y'all I wouldn't, but I'll probably buy the rest. So I'll probably spend $100 on it by the time it's done. But here's the thing. I don't mind it if I get my $100. But, I mean, it's about $100 to get a game. The reason you don't see us do a lot of game reviews, and most of the games we're playing are the older ones, is because it takes like example, Little Nightmares. Indie game, awesome. To get the full story, you need both the DLC. And there's a hint there's a third DLC coming. So, it costs money to game and get a whole
here's
game.
the thing, too. Now, I mean, you also want to talk about these games, these big AAA games. But look at the money that's being brought in by these little free games. I mean, you hear about people spending thousands of dollars.
I don't get that, because they're the crappier games. The little crap app games are making more money. You're dang it, don't do that, because then you're going to have big game companies wanting to make these little pieces of crap, and we'll never see another good Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts or just a game with a lot of story. Because everybody's like, I can make more money making this clicker. I know I shouldn't hate on the clickers, but dang it, man, I'm scared that they're going to tempt away big companies.
It's gotten ridiculous, dude. I mean, it's one of those things where it makes it hard to go, do I want to put years into development of this game that I'm going to sell for, it's the reason why you see all this DLC that was already finished before the game was even released and sold on the day of release. It's the reason why you see these companies trying to push loot boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and you want to talk about the addictive games. Don't talk about Fortnite. Talk about, these card games and phone games, if you want to talk
buy
about
another deck. Get this new card decks. Let me shoot this out. For example, honestly, here's the funny thing. It's amazing DLC. Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was a good game, but if you want the real ending, you need to play at least the last DLC. The reason why? Despite it being almost a joke, because you basically run around punching zombies to death, the last DLC had you playing as the uncle of one of the characters, the NPCs, but you find out what happened to her at the end. The ending is awesome. It literally wraps up the story. So you're like, oh, if you don't have this, and also the other one, you get rid of the last bad guy. So it's like, games now don't give you the full ending. Yeah. You either have to go to YouTube and watch awesome people like Mark, Jack, John Wolf, or those go through and finish the game for you, or Matt Pat. Though Matt, man, you need to focus a little more when you're playing. But you get a little distracted, brother. You either got to go watch them complete the game for you, or you have to buy the DLC to get the full ending. Because guess what? Going off of the end of just the main game, oh my God, you missed so much. I'm not joking. You missed so much story.
Here's the other problem of doing stuff like that too, is then you have stuff like Mass Effect, where you have this whole section of the game that you never know what happened, and you never will, because the game didn't go over so well, and so they never put out that DLC that they left open.
Because they made the game incomplete from the beginning. Good call. Good shot, man. Yeah, like my boy here's a big Mass Effect Andromeda, and while I tease him, it's a shame that I feel like that there was more to Andromeda. I don't think that was the whole game. It feels like it's not complete. He'll never know because they decided to hold off and not put the whole material out, and then they decided not to do it because they didn't think it would sell. Now you got a half-ass game. And honestly, I'm glad I never played it, because if it was ended where you ended, I would have been pissed.
And also because of that, it leaves this. The money that the game will make in the future is hurt because of that. There won't be that revival from a bunch of people going, "Oh, I picked this game up. It may be 5 years old and it was awesome," because nobody's going to want to pick up the game because they already know that the ending's incomplete.
We just talked about that, like Skyrim, man. I went back, started playing it all over again because of the material. The DLC is awesome. Having this material to fill it out. But like you said, if they don't finish it, here's a good example. Mark knows that in truth, I bought Dragon Ball Fighter Z. When I told him, I said, I want to play Brawly. I bought that on faith, y'all. Do you know if that game hadn't done well, I might have never got to pay Brawling because they may not have bothered to put out the DLC. I bought that on faith. That's a shame that I had to buy this game and hope my favorite character, the one I wanted to play the most, would come out in it because they didn't put it out when it first came out, because that's the way games are modeled now.
No, I mean, I'm not a huge Dragon Ball fan, but like the main character that I would sort of want to play isn't in it right now. So even if I wanted to play the game, I wouldn't buy it right now because it's just like, you know, if the old dude or what Master
like our homeboy here is a Master Roshi fan,
Yeah.
and guess what? He'll probably not, because he's in Super, he'll probably make an appearance, but you'd have to buy it on faith or you'd have to wait. And
I'm gonna wait.
What if it wasn't big? Now I believe he's gonna make it, but only because Dragon Ball Fighter Z is one of the most popular fighting games. That sucks, man. Like, and I'm not knocking the fighting game companies; they're trying to make their cash, but this model is risky onto the customer.
Well, I mean, look at Street Fighter 5. You know, my favorite character in that still hasn't come out. Now, he has been announced to come out.
Oh, who you waiting on?
But he's the third season of releases.
I got lucky and got Akuma up front. Who you waiting on?
The green electric dude.
Blanca.
Blanca.
Oh,
Yeah, Blanca. I love Blanca, man. That was always my favorite.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, when I first played Street Fighter back on the Nintendo, you know, that was
Blanca was my boy, man.
Yeah.
You know, I had to agree that, well, it's the same thing for me. And a weird change, as if Capcom said, we better not do this. They didn't hold off Akuma, because I won't buy a Street Fighter game that doesn't have Akuma in it, period.
Yeah. But I'm still waiting for Blanca. Like, I'm almost to the point, though, where it's like, do I really want to spend
Guile
that
is my
money?
boy. I feel you, dog.
Do I want to spend that money? You know, I mean, it's like at this point, the game's almost 3 years old, and I'm finally gonna get it. And it's like, well,
wait for the summer sale.
Soul Calibur 6 is coming out soon, you know, and then it's like, so do I even want to buy it?
Oh
now?
my God! What if Astaroth is a
know?
DLC that I have to wait for though? Like, I'd be furious. I'd be like, God dang it, where's Astaroth?
Yeah, you know,
Blood Axe needs this axe in his colon. He can't sleep at night.
So holding off on the DLC also means it may never buy it just because of the next better game has come out. You
know what? That's sad but true. The reason I don't own Street Fighter is because I was sitting back, and also Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, I think they called it, the last one. I was sitting back going like, by the time they gotten around and added a few characters I wanted to see, the game had got negative reviews. Yeah. And I was like, you see, now had you thrown in what I wanted up front, you'd already have my money. But you put your game out, and your game sucked, and now I'm not going to buy you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. Mitsurugi is going to always be there. Like, don't worry, Blood Axe. If there's not Mitsurugi in Soul Calibur, then you might as well call it friggin' a different game. You know, Mitsurugi will always be there. But Astaroth, I'm worried. I didn't see him yet.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to tie up Random Encounters there. Hope you enjoyed, everybody. You know, we do this every Sunday, 3:30 to about 4:30, and check us out. Also, check us out on YouTube, where you can see this. We repost these on YouTube as well as some other videos. If we see something throughout the week that we want to talk about, it usually gets posted to our YouTube channel. And if you want to help us out, you can support us on Patreon. We're Dicejunkies on Patreon. You can go there and you can support us if you want. That would be wonderful. We need you. Also, share this. We need more viewers. All right, guys.
We got to offend more people, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.